Welcome to part 2 of my favorite films. We're going to be talking about my top 15. Let's get into it. Hope you enjoyed the video. At number 15, we got Fantastic Mr. Fox, directed by Wes Anderson. About this guy, Fantastic Mr. Fox, well, a fox, who plans to rob 3 farmers, but the farmers start coming after the families. The film is about come to terms with yourself and what you really are. A bit of spoiler territory, so just skip to the next bit if you don't want any of that. When a wolf is mentioned, Fantastic Mr. Fox is like, wolf? Now, I had a theory, and since I believe it now, I'm pretty much taking over the theory, that he isn't scared of wolves, he's scared of becoming a wolf, he's scared of being an animal. In the beginning, he says, I don't want to live in a hole anymore. Makes me feel like an animal. And that's only so small, he doesn't want to be an animal. But there's this one scene where he sees a wolf and he's like, I sort of puts his fist up to celebrate, so does the wolf. I feel like that is showing how he came to terms with who he really is, an animal. This can also be seen in the ending where he's back underground and he's okay with it this time because he comes to terms, he's an animal, he's okay living like an animal. Truly a beautiful film. At number 14, we got Schindler's List, directed by Steven Spielberg. It's about how a guy named Oskar Schindler saved 1,000 Jewish people during World War II. This definitely has one of the best portrayals of how the Jews are treated. Oskar Schindler is just such a complicated character. At first, he only works with Jewish people because he thought it'd be a good financial gain. But from the film, he realizes he just wants to help the Jews. He feels bad for them. He starts feeling sympathetic, going from a businessman to more of a human being. The film has a message about if you want to help as many people as possible, you have to separate yourself from the materialistic wants and desires. Definitely one of my favorite war films, if you can call it that. I recommend it to anybody interested in the past. At number 13, we got Spirited Away, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. So this is about a girl who gets trapped in a strange new world with a ton of spirits, where her parents get turned into these monstrous-looking pigs. So throughout the entire film, she's trying to navigate the place and find someone who might know how to change them back. The animation was amazing as usual for a film by Miyazaki, and when there was a few action scenes, beautifully made. But what I really like, it's the message about capitalism. You see, the parents, they're like, oh hey, here's some wonderful food that somebody left out, let's eat it. So just eating the food, the girl leaves, and when the girl comes back, they've turned to pigs. They're so sad if you're a consumer in a capitalist world, you're nothing more than a pig. I don't want to say anything else, just go and watch it, you'll love it. Number 12, we got Fight Club, directed by David Fincher. So it's about a guy who meets another guy called Tyler Durden, and they start a club where men can fight each other to get all their anger out. But the group sort of turns into a terrorist organization, and Tyler Durden leads it. But the narrator, he hates that, so he tries to stop it. Now, a lot of people think it's trying to promote masculinity, but no, it's trying to show how toxic masculinity can destroy entire systems and the world and infest itself into everywhere, even in from police to people around you. It can ruin everything, and that's what people don't get about it. They completely miss the message, and it annoys me every time I see somebody say Fight Club's about not being a pussy. It ain't about that at all, though. It ain't about that. Same thing with American Psycho. Absolutely loved it. People just see a man doing something kind of masculine, and they like glaze it without understanding it's satire, it's a joke. American Psycho, the book was written by a gay man and the film was directed by a woman. But both I absolutely love, recommend both. Absolutely amazing. Number 11, we got Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele. This is about a guy named Chris and his girlfriend who go upstate to see the girlfriend's parents, but Chris, he's black, and his girlfriend's white family have a ton of black servants, like waiters and gardeners, and that kind of creeps him out, and it only gets worse as the weekend goes on. But when they figure out what is actually happening, it's too late. Warning, the film is quite political about black people and white people and racist people pretending to not be racist. So if you don't like any of that, avoid the film. But if you're interested in that, definitely a must watch. And it makes sense what it's about black and white people because the director, Jordan Peele, is a black man. Also, Jordan Peele might sound familiar because he was in the Keel and Peele skits. You know, the stuff I was like, hey, Aaron. Is Aaron here? It's Aaron. He's a funny guy and amazing director. He also made Nope and Us, some really good horror films. Definitely check out his work. Number 10, we got Howl's Moving Castle, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Another Miyazaki film. It's about a girl who gets turned into an old elderly lady. She goes out to try to figure out how she can turn back, but then this guy named Howl, who lives in a moving castle, who everybody loves, ends up taking her along with him, and they just like do some stuff. They like help each other out. They have some laughs. Really cute, wholesome film. It has the best soundtrack for a film by Miyazaki. Again, great animation. The entire movie was so fun to watch. Absolutely loved it. At number 9, we got The Truman Show, directed by Peter Weir. Another film starring Jim Carrey in a more serious role. The film's about a guy named Truman. His entire life has been a television show. Doesn't know. He thinks it's all real. He starts to suspect that he's in a show when light from the sky falls down. And there's like tiny things that make him realize more, like his wife being like, I really recommend this cocoa powder for Monaco, who's like she's sort of presenting a product, which she actually is. The film pretty much invents the concept of a reality TV show before reality TV was ever made. It actually made a lot of people think, wait, am I in the Truman Show? Some theaters, when they would show the film, like halfway through the film, they would switch to a recording of a camera in the cinema just to make people think, wait, was that a camera? Wait, is this even real? Like, his performance feels so natural and so entertaining to watch. One of my favorite films. Probably everybody who watched it likes it. At number 8, we got Requiem for a Dream, directed by Darren Aronofsky. This one's about 4 people who all know each other, their friends, a girlfriend, a mother, and they all get involved with using drugs that ruin their lives. Definitely the most disturbing film I've watched, and probably the best acting. It's a real thinker film. Absolutely loved it. If you like sad stuff, it makes you cry. At number 7, we got Princess Mononoke, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Definitely my favorite film by Miyazaki. It's about a guy named Ashitaka who gets cursed by a mysterious beast. So he goes on a journey trying to find a cure. But then he meets this girl raised by wolves who protects a forest called San. But this lady called Lady Obosi, she's trying to destroy the forest, which San doesn't like. Ashitaka really doesn't like people fighting, but San and the lady keep on trying to go ham at each other, so he's constantly trying to stop that. The film has a pretty big message about no violence and respecting nature, like in pretty much all of other Miyazaki's films. One of Miyazaki's more gory films, but definitely the best. This one was probably the most unique one because it's less cutesy and more like violent. Number 6, we got Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time, directed by Hideaki Anno. Okay, definitely the best way to end a franchise. I don't want to tell what happens in it because that's going to spoil all the other Evangelion films. Now, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 definitely like sort of represents Hideaki Anno's entire film style. And also the elements of it, the wackiness, the unique characters, and the very unique storytelling. Now the visuals are absolutely insane. That's an amazing song that plays at the end. When Shinji and Gendo are fighting, it feels like an acid trip, and that's what I love about it. It's so bold, so unique, and it works. One of the most memorable endings to a film ever. I love the Evangelion franchise, and oh my god, such a good way to end it. At number 5, we got La La Land, directed by Damien Chazelle. It's about a girl named Mia trying to be an actress in Hollywood, and a guy named Sebastian trying to be a jazz player who fall in love, but the dreams get in the way of their romance. Musical, some of the best songs and choreography. It's also really impressive camera work in like any musical I've ever seen, or some I've ever seen like ever. There's some more sadder romance films, but that's what I like about it. And it uses some techniques and stylistic choices you would see in like older films on the ending. Pretty experimental, kind of like some callbacks to some older films. That's what I really like about it. Oh, very stylistic. If I could watch this for the first time again, I would. At number 4, we got Whiplash, directed by Damien Chazelle. This used to be my favorite film. It's about a guy named Andrew trying to be the best drummer ever, but his instructor really strict, kind of bringing him down. But Andrew keeps on trying to be better. The film does a deep dive into what it means to strive for perfection and of how self-destructive it can be. One of the best endings to a film I've ever seen. Very tense and very impactful. The entire film was moving. Number 3, we got Oldboy, directed by Park Chan-wook. Oldboy is a Korean film about a man who gets locked in a room for 15 years. He's then let out, and then he has to find the reason and who locked him in there, and for him to carry out his revenge. Originally when I watched the film, it was quite confusing, so I didn't get it. But after watching one of those recap videos on YouTube, it all made sense, and I realized how tragic and from a masterpiece it really was. There's a fight scene done in one continuous shot, with like 18 stuntmen doing like their own unique choreography. It took like so long to make it, and it's absolutely beautiful. This is my favorite fight scene from any film I've ever seen. Well, the film was quite disturbing. One aspect of it, which I won't say for spoiler reasons, made it kind of controversial and people tried to get it banned, but still, one of the best films I've ever seen. One of the best messages about revenge I've ever seen in a film. And number 2, we got Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho. Parasite is about a family called the Kims who start working for the Parks, but the Parks don't know that the Kims are all related. The Kims are poor and live in a bad house, but the Parks are a very rich, luxurious house, so every time the Parks are on a holiday, they all secretly live there. If you think you know where the film's going, that like completely changes what you think. Very unpredictable. It also has the best use of the Sondersift method I've seen in any film. It has a very simple yet excellently executed message about class and how it divides people. I feel like in 10, 20, 30 years, the film will definitely be seen as a classic among critics alike and, well, as well as Korean people because it's a Korean film. Number 1, we got The End of Evangelion, directed by Hideaki Anno. Organization SEAL does an all-out attack on NERV, trying to destroy the Evangelions before Gendo can initiate the Human Instrumentality Project, aka the Third Impact. After watching this, the program felt like a test of Hideaki Anno's storytelling. End of Evangelion is him definitely perfecting his unique style. The film is very depressing, but also very positive at the same time. The message of the film is that if you want to live in the world, you have to make it a world you want to live in. The best message in any film I've ever seen in my entire life. A very difficult film to wrap your head around. If you like dark or hopeful things and you love themes of humanity, I recommend the entire Evangelion franchise. My outfit changed a bit. I filmed it over a few days. Well, a couple of weeks actually. This is probably like the first real video I've ever made. So if you notice any problems with it, like it's too boring, comment down below, see what I can do to improve. Thanks for watching the video, unless you skipped it. Pussy. Thanks for watching part 2. If you guys like the video, consider subscribing. Got any video ideas? Comment them. Any questions? I might do a Q&A. We're gonna make a video in like a month or so. So see you guys then. Bye.